The Prehistoric Sea World is back! Today we'll add some species that I wanted to add to this park from the very beginning, such as the Suchomimus and the Baryonyx. I think it absolutely makes sense to have some piscivores in the water-based park. But that's not all, as we'll also build our first aviary with the Pteranodons and build a detailed backstage area for our park. Hello guys, this is Caesar Creates, and welcome back to my channel. It is finally time for another episode of the Prehistoric Sea World. I know that you had to wait a bit longer for this one, but I promise you that it was worth it because today we will be adding very cool dinos to our park. As you guys could notice, lately I've been more focused on Planet Zoo. The Jurassic World Evolution 2 was a bit absent on my channel. I have my reasons, to be completely honest. I didn't feel too inspired to play Jurassic World Evolution 2 lately. I just felt like I need some time, some break, not to push those episodes too much, just to, have a break, come back to this game with a fresh mind and build something, taking my time, not being rushed to just upload a new video. Don't get me wrong, I still love this game so much, but because it is a bit more limited, for example, compared to Planet Zoo, it is hard for me to come up with different ways of, and building enclosures, building different areas in the park without being a bit repetitive, especially in those kinds of builds like you have in here. The Prehistoric Sea World is meant to be a bit more like realistic builds, like a potential recreation of a sea world that could be existing in our world, like if the dinosaurs were a thing, of course. But this is sort of what I am coming for, and using the pieces, the decoration that we have in game and going for something like this after a while really feels a bit repetitive. So I had to come up with different ideas to keep me inspired to get this series going and keeping this hype going on, and I think that I was able to do it because today we'll build something really cool. First of all, we'll be adding the first aviary. Finally, we'll have a flying reptile in our park, and this will be a Pteranodon, one of my favorites out of the entire roster of flying creatures in this game, especially now that the way better version, the movie version of the Pteranodon, got so many new skins, patterns. It looks so amazing right now, so I really wanted to add it to our park. And of course, I think that our Prehistoric Sea World wouldn't be complete without the piscivores, such as the Suchomimus and the Baryonyx that we'll be adding in here. Those are animals that are completely associated with water, and from the very beginning of this series I knew that I would eventually add them, and I sort of saved this hill that we have in here, it is the highest positioned area in our park for those guys. I actually changed my plans a bit while building this because I initially wanted to add the Baryonyx, the Suchomimus, and also the Spinosaurus in here because it is another dinosaur that I think is just perfect for this park. But when I started to build this, I quickly realized that this space is not big enough for the Spinosaurus. It is a big dinosaur that probably needs a lot of space. We'll be still adding it, but it will be a part of the beach that we'll build at the end of our series. This area that I am building here was not too easy to work with because of the irregular shape and also how long and thin this whole area is, so I really had to squeeze those enclosures in somehow. In the end, I am quite happy with how it looks, but thank God for those invisible fences that I was able to put in the back of those enclosures, because otherwise this will look so messy with the regular fences. So instead of adding the Spinosaurus, I decided to add the first aviary to our park. I really love aviaries, you guys know about this. I just think it is so cool that I can observe those flying reptiles just using the entire space in there, landing on different things. It is so interesting for me just to sit there and watch them. So I was so happy with this idea. I still want to have another aviary, just as I told you guys in couple of episodes ago at the beach section, because I had this idea of adding a lot of smaller flying reptiles in there, like by the sea, and think of them as seagulls, and we'll be still doing that. So if we'll have seagulls by the sea, at the top of this little hill that we have in here, we probably would have birds like eagles, and to me our pteranodons in here are simply eagles. Pteranodons were large flying reptiles that ate fish. I think it is actually scientifically proven that they actually ate them, just as for example bald eagles, they also eat fish, so I kind of think that it makes sense to put them at the top of this hill. There will also be a smaller like circular habitat in the middle that you guys can see like from time to time, and it will be for a smaller dino that some of you actually suggested for this series, the Coelophysis, that I also really like, and I was actually happy that some of you suggested it. And what we also will do at the end of the speed build will be a backstage section for our park. I always like to build things like this for all of my parks. I think that every park should have a place for all those hatcheries, the response teams and stuff like that, also storage for dinosaur food, and you know, just a backstage area of a regular park. It adds a lot of realism, it looks cool, and here I had the space behind the aviary and I decided to use it for that. Of course I had to make sure that it will be simply usable, so our workers have to have a way of getting in there. That's why I added those paths in there. You'll all see that. At the end, of course, I will always do a tour of the entire area, everything that we've built today, because I also didn't include everything in the speed build, so you guys will have some surprises. A lot of decorations and stuff like that were just, you know, cut out because I think it sort of can get a bit repetitive after watching it for so long. So you know by now how I typically place my decorations, and this time it wasn't anything new. What I had in mind while designing this whole area in here is doing like this immersive experience for our guests. This part of our park will be very lush and dense with a lot of trees. This piece of map is actually surrounded by forest, so I wanted to continue that into the enclosures, and I wanted to continue that sort of into the guest experience. So I added a lot of trees like next to the paths, so it is all more dense, like lush. There's a lot of those trees from the Mediterranean biome that sort of overhang the path. It looks so cool in the end. So yeah, the guests will just enter through this like gate that we'll have for this area and go through like a very curved path through the forest, and in there they will also see some dinosaurs. So this is what I had in mind, and in the end there will be this aviary for the Pteranodons and also a small guest area for them just to rest, to chill and so on, because it is a sort of a dead end, and you know, they have to walk all this path and then just return with the same path. I decided to make this circle in there for where the Coelophysis habitat will be, so that they can use one path, one like half circle when going in one direction, and then return and use this other half of the circle, so at least this part won't be so repetitive and will be still something new for them. So when it comes to the enclosures, we first worked on the Suchomimus Enclosure, the biggest one in here. Of course, I added a lot of water sections and I wanted to make it look very lush. I added a lot of those rocks in the background. They sort of looks repetitive, but after you will, cover them with a lot of trees and different foliage, they look, you cannot see that it is so repetitive, but I like to add them. So there's like this rock wall in the back. It sort of looks like they cannot escape through it, but yeah, after covering it with a lot of foliage, it looks so much better. Of course, I wanted to make it look swampy. I added a lot of those dead trees, like those logs that were added with the anniversary update, and a lot of like lower foliage, this one that I like to use around those water sections, so it looks sort of like swampy. The smaller habitat on the right will be for the Baryonyx. I used their together the Baryonyx trio. So we have Grim, Chaos, and Limbo. I really love their skins. The color variations on those guys are beautiful, so I always like to use them. And I added one more because I sort of thought like, do we have space for one more Baryonyx in there? The circular habitat, of course, will be for the Coelophysis, and we'll also have this log viewing gallery for the guests that I sort of wanted to hide a bit with different rocks and different bushes. It looks so cool at the end. Probably one of my favorite things about this build today. This viewing gallery in here looks amazing. And as I already told you, there will also be an aviary, and for this I had this idea of making the background a bit like higher. We unfortunately don't have a lot of possibilities to terraform inside of the aviaries, but I did my best. So I did the background a bit higher. I added some rocks in there, some plants, and in the front of the entire aviary there is this big water section where they will eat. So the guests get this really cool view from this viewing galleries. Firstly, they see this big lake, and in the distance they can see this little hill where probably the Pteranodons will land, will spend a lot of time. So it looks so cool. In the end, I really love how this aviary has turned out. I am recording this voiceover a day before uploading this video, and I think that any day right now there can be an announcement of the new DLC for Jurassic World Evolution 2. So I really hope that tomorrow this video won't be uploaded at the same day as the announcement, because of course all the attention will be on the new DLC and the things that it will include. Maybe there will be a teaser, maybe there won't be anything, but who knows? We don't know. I thought that actually today they will announce something, but they didn't. So we need to patiently wait, of course. I am really curious what this DLC will be. A lot of people are speculating about the Flying Reptile DLC, which will be really cool, I think. After getting a marine one, and now it will be time for getting a flying one. So it makes sense. I don't think that it will be interesting to like a majority of people, but for people like me who love the aviaries, I think it will be amazing. And also I saw some people talking about them adding some walking animations for the flying reptiles. That would be so cool, because I think it's so a bit dumb that they cannot just walk. They just can fly from one place to another and they just sit there, but they should be able to just land on the ground and walk around. That was so cool. This is one of my biggest like wishes for the potential Jurassic World Evolution 3, if we'll ever get it. I don't know, but there has been some speculation, especially now that we know that the new movie is coming sooner than actually I think everyone was expecting. They will just need 1 year to produce this entire movie, so this is very interesting. I am very curious about what this movie will actually be about, so I cannot wait for that, of course, and I am very curious to see if this movie means another game produced by Frontier. Of course, we know about the Jurassic World Survival that is sort of in an unknown state right now, but if we'll ever get Jurassic World Evolution 3, there are so many things that they could potentially add to make this game even better. I still love it. I still think that it is a very good game. Like, it is great. It has some amazing designs of the dinos. It is so enjoyable to play. But for example, adding baby dinos or just this walking animation for the flying reptiles, more decorations, animals like Spinosaurus should be able to swim in the a bit deeper water, and those things could make the game even better. So I don't think that we need the Jurassic World Evolution 3, but if it'll come and we'll have some amazing new additions, why not? Okay, so right now, as you guys can see, I am working on this backstage area for our park, adding a lot of different decorations, adding a lot of those containers, different cages for our dinos, different buildings, and making it look a bit more organized but messy at the same time, so you can clearly see that someone is working there, that there's a lot of things going on in our park. So our staff is probably too busy attending tending to those dinos to, you know, care about the perfectly clean workspace. So that's why some of those things are a bit tilted and stuff like this. But with that area being done, the speedball part of this video is also done. So let's meet in a second for a tour around everything that we've built in this video. I must say that I really enjoy all the new additions and I hope you guys will like them as well. I just cannot believe that this is already a 7th episode of the Prehistoric Sea World. We've been able to build quite a lot in this park. There are still several episodes coming, but yeah, I really love what we created this time. So let's have a look at everything that I created. So we are here above the Dinosaurs exhibit that we created last time. In here you have the Tylosaurus Lagoon, and in here you also have this path that is going up the hill, and up this hill I decided to place the viewing tower. I could imagine that the views from here are quite nice, and also the guests, you know, just as a reward for them from, you know, climbing all this way up, they will get this amazing view. So if we'll continue this path and we'll take this little path in here left, here you have this entrance to the viewing tower, and you also have a first glimpse of the habitat for the Suchomimus. Unfortunately, I don't think that they are in here, but maybe we'll be more lucky like next to other viewing opportunities. Here's actually the entrance to this viewing log that we're about to see shortly. I just didn't have a place to place it in there, like closer, but we can sort of imagine that there's shops or any other things. Here you have a toilet as well. Right now we can either go in here and start this entire immersive experience of, you know, walking. Oh, we can actually see some dinosaurs in the back there, or we can actually go in here to show you the Tylosaurus Lagoon. We saw it last time, but we in here have a quite nice view inside of the Baryonyx habitat, as you guys can see. They are so nice. I love those skins of the trio from the Camp Cretaceous. So yeah, really cool habitat. So let's go back and let's go through this gate to see the rest of the things that we created. In here you have the entrance to the viewing gallery for the Suchomimus habitat. On the right there's another viewing gallery for the Baryonyx. And right now we are following this curved path, and on the left we have our Suchomimuses. We have 4 in this enclosure, and there are 4 of them next to each other, as you guys can see. And in here on the right hand side we have the Baryonyx habitat, and this is so cool that you have those on both sides right now. If you continue further, there is this little like plaza with some decorations, and in here you have this viewing log that looks so cool in here, like immersed in this greenery, and this is the Coelophysis habitat. I don't know where they are, but they are somewhere in here. There's a lot of plants that they can hide in. Okay, let's continue this way. Actually, we'll continue. We'll go back on the other side. So here we have a clear view for our Baryonyx. They are so amazing. There are actually 4 of them in here. Oh, here's a 4th one. A lot of water, of course, a feeder as always. And in here on the other hand side we have a Coelophysis, but this viewing gallery in here looks so cool. It sort of looks like it is resting on the rocks, and this is something that I wanted to achieve. So we have our Coelophysis eating one of them, as you guys can see. I don't know where the rest is. I think that there are 8 of them in this habitat. Oh, there's one running probably to eat. So yeah, if you continue this way, there's another viewing opportunity. We have the of course the Suchomimus habitat on this side and the Baryonyx one on this side. And we are here in this little plaza right now, and and in the back you can see this beautiful shot right here for the Pteranodon with a lot of signs and stuff. So we have the restaurant, like a drink shop in here with a little bit of decorations. Of course I had to use the Pteranodon statues. We have those things, really love those fountains. I added some benches and stuff, and there are entrances to the viewing galleries for them. and on the other hand side we have the same thing. And actually, let's go inside the aviary to see what they are up to. So yeah, they are flying, and as you guys can clearly see in front, there is this water section, and in the back they have this like hill with a lot of rocks and those perches that they can sit on. I just love those guys so much. They look so beautiful with those different color variations that were added lately. Like, they just look perfect right now. And yeah, we have our viewing galleries in here, some other like perches for them on the both sides, and yeah, they really seem to enjoy this aviary. If you go out for a second, here actually you have this little sneaky like entrance into the backstage area. Unfortunately, the workers have to like make this whole trip in here, but if they do it, probably they will do it with their cars, right? They will go into this whole backstage area that looks like this. Quite a lot of clicking and adding objects in here, but I think in the end it looks quite good. A lot of different buildings. I just have to have this building and a helicopter because there's so many dinos escaping in this park, and some of them are getting blocked inside of different objects. Sometimes they are starving for some different reasons, so I sometimes just have to use it to move them somewhere. And of course we need a hatchery to add new dinos to our park, but still, this is sandbox. I have most of things disabled because I am playing more for the looks than for actual gameplay. So yeah, this is how it all looks from the above. I just love this overgrown look of it. I actually realized that I promised you guys that we'll go back here, so let's go back and do it right there. So this is the Suchomimus habitat. Of course, a lot of water. There's this whole river in here. I added some cameras even. Those can be quite dangerous, I think, so it's better to see what they are up to. So yeah, we have them in here. Really love them. One of my, like, I think that they are in one of my like top 10 dinos in this game for sure. I just love the design of it and how unique they actually look. They are so amazing. So yeah, if you will zoom out and show you how the whole area looks, maybe even more. So yeah, you have the entrance in here, you're going here, there's this big roundabout with the Coelophysis habitat in here. You have the aviary in here, the backstage area, and it is all in this like forest because this piece of the map is just, you know, surrounded by this forest that is in here. Okay, just to show you quickly the map and how it is looking right now. So we filled this whole area, and this thing is also now done. So only this area is done, is not done simply, is still to be done, and this area in here, and this is something that we'll focus on in the next episodes. I just need to just come up with something in here because it is still such an eyesore. And then we will do this entire beach with some really exciting animals and dinosaurs and other stuff. I have some. This is basically meant for some highlights of our park, and yeah, a lot of those really big and very famous species will be added in there. Okay, so this is all when it comes to our Prehistoric Sea World. Let's maybe go there for our goodbyes so you guys can see how it looks right now, because as you guys can see, it is quite large. Okay guys, if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will of course cover news on the new DLC if I will be able to, so those are also coming. If you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up down below. Ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video like this. And of course, leave me a nice comment. Tell me what you thought about the new builds. Do you like the animals that I decided to go for? And what are your suggestions for the new dinos that should be also added in here? If you like to support the channel a little bit extra, you can do it with the join button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!